guys, just to clarify the situation for today's video, also on Mateus Fernandes. So many questions regarding Mateus Fernandes, the future of the Portuguese midfielder at West Ham. What's going on? What's happening? What's the story? According to my information, Tottenham are talking to the agent of the player, Jorge Mendes, and they are pushing in order to reach an agreement with the player, but still nothing guaranteed, still nothing closed. So what's going to happen is that there will be more conversations with Tottenham, more conversations with Manchester United, because don't forget that Manchester United are working very hard on this deal. Manchester United are working hard on club side with West Ham. They spoke about Mateus Fernandes already, and they are working also on player side with the agent of the player. So Man United are still there.
What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to United Focus. And today we have got some genuinely concerning developments mixed in with some clarity on multiple fronts. Manchester United could be about to miss out on one of their top midfield targets. Tottenham have entered the picture with serious money. Crysencio Summerville's situation is getting more complicated by the day, and there is important news on Sesco, Ugate and Rashford. Let's get straight into every single detail. Right, let's not sugarcoat this one. Manchester United could be about to lose out on Mateus Fernandes, and the threat from Tottenham is real and significant. It was claimed on Saturday night that Tottenham Hotspur are reportedly close to agreeing personal terms with the 21-year-old West Ham midfielder. Discussions are understood to have advanced positively, and Italian journalist Nicolo Shearer has gone further, exclusively reporting that Spurs are now ready to offer £70 million to West Ham to try and sign Fernandez. Let's understand what this means. United had been considered the favourites throughout this process. West Ham had been standing firm on an £80 million valuation, and United's strategy had been to negotiate that figure down or restructure the deal with add-ons. But Tottenham coming in with a concrete £70 million offer changes the dynamic significantly. Roberto De Zerbi clearly wants a marquee midfield addition at Spurs, and he is moving aggressively to get one. Now, before United fans panic completely, let's get Fabrizio Romano's take, because it provides some genuine reassurance. Romano has insisted that Manchester United are still very much in the picture for Fernandez, despite Tottenham ramping up their interest. Romano's exact words on his YouTube channel. According to my information, Tottenham are talking to the player's agent, Jorge Mendes, and they are pushing in order to reach an agreement with the player, but still nothing guaranteed, still nothing closed. Crucially, Romano confirmed that United are working extremely hard on this deal from both sides. On the club side, direct conversations with West Ham. On the player side, direct conversations with Mendes, Fernandez' agent. Romano's exact phrase was that United are working very hard and remain still very much in the picture. So this is genuinely a competitive race right now, not a deal United have already lost. Tottenham have money and momentum. United have an existing, advanced relationship with both West Ham and the players' camp built over several weeks. This is going to come down to who moves decisively in the coming days. And there is a third party to factor in too, Real Madrid. Romano confirmed that Jose Mourinho has put Fernandez' name forward as one of his midfield options should Real Madrid need an additional signing. Real have not yet made it advanced according to previous reporting. But with three major European clubs all circling, this has become a genuinely fascinating transfer saga. Romano's verdict: this is a very interesting deal to follow. United fans, watch this one extremely closely over the coming days. The outcome is genuinely uncertain. Now here is some news that adds yet another complication to United's summer plans. Manchester United's interest in Crysencio Summerville could become significantly more complicated following his impressive performances for the Netherlands at this World Cup. According to the Mirror, the West Ham winger has caught the eye of PSG with a string of standout displays, and his rising profile is now likely to spark further interest from rival clubs across Europe. United have already made inquiries over a potential deal. We covered the contract offer through to 2031 in our previous update. West Ham are expected to demand around £50 million for the 24-year-old. But here is the issue, that valuation continues to climb the better Somerville performs at this tournament. So United now find themselves in a position where two of their top targets at West Ham, Fernandez and Somerville, are both attracting serious competition simultaneously. Tottenham for Fernandez, PSG potentially circling for Somerville. The longer this World Cup goes on and the better these two players perform, the more expensive and the more competitive both pursuits are likely to become. United's strategy of patient, methodical negotiation made a lot of sense a few weeks ago when competition appeared limited. Right now, that patience is starting to look like it could cost them on multiple fronts. Quick but important update on Benjamin Sesko, and it is a definitive one. Manchester United have absolutely no interest in selling the striker. Cesco was linked with a move to Barcelona last weekend, with Spanish paper Marca claiming he was on a list of players the Catalans are considering as a replacement for Robert Lewandowski. But United's position is crystal clear. There is no intention whatsoever to part with Cesco after less than a year at Old Trafford. He hit double figures in his debut season alongside Mbeumo and Kuna. He is part of the long-term plan. This rumour can be put to bed immediately. Cesco stays. Right, important financial detail on Manuel Ugarte that explains exactly why United are so determined to sell him this summer. According to The Sun, United need to sell Ugarte for at least £25 million to avoid registering a profit and sustainability rules loss on the books. United signed him from PSG for £42 million and have already accepted internally that no club is going to pay anywhere close to that figure back. But £25 million is the specific threshold that matters from a regulatory perspective. Go below that number and United risk a PSR loss that could create wider financial complications across the rest of their summer business. AC Milan and Galatasaray have both been linked with interest in Ugate. This explains a lot about the urgency around getting Ugarte sold this summer. It is not just about clearing a player who has struggled in England. It is about a specific financial number that protects United's ability to spend elsewhere. Watch for movement on this one, particularly as June 30th approaches and accounting periods close across European football. And finally, Marcus Rashford. Tottenham Hotspur have made their position known here too. According to the iPaper, Spurs are interested in signing Rashford, but they are not willing to pay the £40 million figure that represents the unofficial benchmark price United have set for a permanent sale. Tottenham manager Roberto De Zerbi is reportedly a huge admirer of Rashford's work and believes he is a Premier League proven forward capable of transforming his attack. That is genuine, real interest from a manager who clearly rates the player highly. But if Spurs do move for Rashford, they will look to negotiate a lower fee than the current valuation. Interestingly, there have also been suggestions circulating that United would be stupid to sell Rashford to Arsenal specifically, given the rivalry dynamics involved. Whether that sentiment influences United's decision-making, if Arsenal ever became seriously interested, remains to be seen. But for now, Tottenham appear to be the most concrete suitor, even if their valuation does not yet match United's asking price. With Rashford set to return to Carrington roughly 3 weeks after England's World Cup concludes, his performances over the coming weeks remain absolutely crucial in determining both his eventual destination and the fee United can command. This is shaping up to be a genuinely tense few days for Manchester United's midfield rebuild. The Fernandez situation in particular needs resolving quickly. Every day that passes with Tottenham's £70 million offer on the table increases the risk that United lose out on a player they have worked extremely hard to secure. United fans will want decisive action from Carrick and the recruitment team in the next 48 hours. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss the resolution of the Fernandez situation. It could go either way at this point. Smash that like button if you enjoyed today's coverage and drop your thoughts in the comments. Worried about losing Fernandez to Spurs? Happy Cesco is staying? And where do you think Rashford ends up? Elsewhere? Right, here is a name that has genuinely surprised people today, and the report comes with serious credibility behind it. Sky Germany have reiterated Manchester United's pursuit of Borussia Dortmund's Lucas Mecha. Previous reports had suggested United were already in contact over a potential move, and now it has been confirmed that City are also lurking as competition. The financial structure here is genuinely interesting. Mecha reportedly has a £69 million release clause that applies in 2027, but that figure decreases to £60 million a year later in 2028. Speculation elsewhere suggests Dortmund would actually listen to offers above £60 million right now, in this window, rather than waiting for the clause to become active. Now, Mecca's specific profile and position has not been detailed extensively in these reports, but the fact that both United and City are showing serious interest at this level tells you he is clearly considered a player of real quality by elite recruitment departments across England. With United already pursuing Ederson, Fernandez and Somerville, adding another midfielder at 60 million would represent a genuinely massive summer spend even by the standards United are already operating at. This one feels earlier stage than Fernandez or Somerville, but with City also interested, expect this to develop quickly if either club decides to make a concrete move. An interesting update on the Aurelien Tchouameni situation, and it suggests this one could genuinely be more open than previously thought. Reports in Spain suggest Tchouameni could leave Real Madrid this summer, with the funds generated potentially being used to fund Madrid's pursuit of another midfielder. That is a significant development. If Madrid themselves are open to selling Tchouameni to reinvest elsewhere, the dream signing that United's recruitment director Christophe Vivell has been personally chasing might actually be more achievable than anyone realised. United continue to be credited with interest. Whether they can actually compete financially and convince Tchouameni that United is the right next step in his career remains to be seen, but the door at least appears to be open from Madrid's perspective in a way it was not a few weeks ago. Marc Casado, the alternative gaining momentum. We mentioned Marc Casado briefly before, but the picture is becoming clearer today. The Barcelona defensive midfielder is reportedly out of favour at Camp Nou and seemingly attracting interest from several European clubs, with United among them. If Fernandez proves too expensive or West Ham dig in too hard, Casado represents a genuine alternative for the same defensive midfield role. 21 years old, technically excellent, already experienced at the highest level despite his age. One to watch as a fallback option if the Fernandez negotiation drags on. Now here is something that will frustrate United fans. Reports in the last 24 hours suggesting Tottenham Hotspur are looking to hijack one of United's midfield targets, with Roberto De Zerbi continuing to cast his net wide in pursuit of reinforcements at his new club. While the specific target of Spurs' hijack attempt was not detailed precisely in this report given the context of everything else being discussed, Fernandez, Casado, Tonali-style targets, it is reasonable to assume Spurs are circling around similar midfield options to United. De Zerbi is clearly building aggressively at Tottenham and is not afraid to compete directly with United for targets. This adds another layer of urgency to United's negotiations, particularly with Fernandez, where speed could matter if competition intensifies. Speculation from Italy has named United as one of the clubs interested in signing Martin Batterina from Como. The Croatian international is currently at the World Cup and scored against England this week, a performance that will have raised his profile significantly among scouts and recruitment departments across Europe. This is very early stage interest, more a name appearing on a list than any concrete pursuit. But with United clearly assessing multiple midfield options simultaneously, Batterina's strong World Cup form means he is one more name worth tracking as the summer progresses. Now this is a genuinely fascinating piece of insight that clears up a lot of confusion from the past week. There has been considerable talk about a release clause in Marcus Rashford's United contract, but the reality, according to detailed reporting, is that it is actually a gentleman's agreement between Rashford and the club, not a formal cast-iron contractual clause. Here is the context. Rashford signed his last contract in July 2023, immediately after a 30-goal season when he looked like he was about to become one of the best forwards in the world. That deal is what allowed him to negotiate his £325,000 a week salary. Writing an actual £40 million release clause into that contract at that specific moment would have made no sense whatsoever. It would have been activated almost immediately given how highly he was rated at the time. Instead, when Rashford joined Aston Villa on loan in January 2025 after his United career had unravelled, United quoted Villa £40 million to make that move permanent. That figure has effectively become the unofficial benchmark. Rashford and his camp have been made aware that £40 million is the price United would accept for a permanent sale, unless Manchester City or Liverpool are the ones bidding, in which case United would presumably want significantly more given the rivalry dynamics. One option that has been definitively ruled out, another loan specifically to Barcelona. After the acrimony of how last season's loan and buy option situation played out, United are only prepared to listen to permanent offers from Barcelona, not another temporary arrangement. However, the door is not completely closed to loans from other clubs if an attractive enough structure with a strong option or obligation to buy was presented later in the window. For now, United are expecting Rashford back at Carrington around 3 weeks after England's World Cup concludes. He will train with the first team and be available for pre-season friendlies under Michael Carrick. His performances at the World Cup with England will be absolutely crucial in determining what happens next. Quick but interesting update on Tyrell Malacia, whose contract officially expires on June 30th alongside Casemiro and effectively Jadon Sancho's situation too. Malacia suffered terrible luck with injuries throughout his time at Old Trafford and was desperate to leave in search of regular first-team football, both last summer and again in January, when he almost completed a move to Turkey before it fell through at the last moment. The 26-year-old has reportedly cut short his summer holidays to undergo an intensive overseas training camp, determined to be physically ready when he eventually joins a new club. Several clubs are showing interest, but Malacia is in no rush. He wants to take his time and pick the right option, given how significant this next career move is for him after such a difficult few years. Played just 15 minutes of first-team football last season. A genuinely sad story for a player with real talent who was unfairly shunted aside. We wish him well wherever he ends up.